I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, you can't replace.
It's not in the case of anybody.
That's why I spend my life with you.
Hi, hotties, kettles, tea stirs. You're here for hot tea. All commentary is alleged, and in my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only.
These motherfuckers are bad shit crazy. They don't support my business, right? I never want to fucking die from them. I never want them to put a business. If I see them in here, I'll put them out, right? Because I don't want them in black. I never want to see them. I never want to buy a shirt. I never want to buy anything from me. So I'm happy when they say, I'm not going to do this little verso. I'm like, oh, thank you. Shit. I hate where you literally don't need people. How you going to stop people? They're boycotting television shows. They think they're the bloggers. They think bloggers are. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see them ratings and see how bad they're going to look. And they'll be like, they have no power. None.
Well, none of the Lamh and Huntsville cast is going to talk about the elephant in the room, so I will. And the only people I really want to address this is Carlos King, the Cancer Hunter, and Fat Titty So. Hell, I'll even throw Dusty Dan and Mills' baby mama in there, seeing as though Dusty Dan said that when she was on the show, that show had the highest ratings, as if you ever fucking mattered. Like, it was so baffling to me hearing that come out of Dusty Dan's mouth when she knew that the highest ratings were because of Mill and her baby mama. But let's talk about where the ratings are today. TV Deets report that Lamh and Huntsville Season 8, Episode 6 that aired June the 8th racked in only 238,000 views, which is the new season low. And if you guys are curious to know why, check out my first video that I made today, the demise of Lamh and Huntsville, because it's looking like this may be an end to an era, because these people obviously are full of themselves and let their ego get the best of them. They thought that they could produce something that the fans didn't want to see and it'll be successful. I have continuously said that this show was based on a true, real, authentic story about a family that wasn't easy to discuss, but it was so relatable. Even like I said, Letitia and Marceau, a lot of these couples were actually relatable because they weren't trying to keep up with a facade. But it seems as though when content creators and people started to catch wind of the show and it started to gain more popularity and people had more opinions of the things that were displayed on the show, they tried to kick up this facade and put on a show to show people what they wanted us to believe or who they wanted us to believe they are versus what we had already seen from them. They gave us a crazy switcheroo, and the show hasn't been authentic for like 3 or 4 seasons now. I got this article from Money Making Melody fan page. Y'all know, one of my favorite Melody fan pages. And it says, owns reality television breakout Lamh and Huntsville is seeing a ratings boom in its 3rd season of the network. Shadow and Act can exclusively report the show led Saturday's night cable telecast amongst its key demo, delivering its most watched episode ever with more than 1 million total views in L+3 for its 2nd episode of the season. This makes it OWN's most watched unscripted television show since March 2019, an episode of Ayanya Fix My Life. It also makes Lamh and Huntsville Saturday night's #1 telecast across broadcast and cable, with the African American W2545 and W1849 outperforming NBC's coverage of the Summer Olympics in both demos. OWN was also Saturday night's #1 cable network among W2545 and W1849, only behind USA Network. So Lamh and Huntsville went from being the most viewed show on OWN network to almost 200,000 views.
I think we probably need assistance in how we parent. Financially, I'm not doing as good. I've been what we call stuck.
But you don't get to stop because you have now 5 children.
Why are you doing that?
Because it's the
We're
truth.
talking about the 4 children that you and I have.
You got 5.
Stop, I don't want to talk about that at all. So stop doing that serious, okay?
You got what you want. You want to buy kids.
Yeah, that's it. You're right.
Did you get a DNA test?
Cool, man.
Ooh.
So you got a baby out here.
I forgive you yet, outside child.
Would you?
Yes.
I would divorce you and take for everything you have.
Yes, you're not Tiffany. I don't. Oh, what's up?
LeBaron. And then I met you. I said, oh, didn't I see you yesterday? Your outfit yesterday was so cute. And you were like, that was me.
Oh, who was it?
I don't know. I still don't know who it was.
I got a problem with Miss Melody Hope because she brought this lady, Tiffany.
Monster is vaping in the bathroom.
Listen, she said monster vaping.
Why you got all this stuff in your room? Put it in the dishwasher.
So that's Miss already.
I'm not Malia Milani Mariah or Markel.
Okay, you're
and
kind
I
of
felt
elevating
like
your voice a
I
little bit,
am
so you don't have to be aggressive with me.
This is the side that you haven't met, and this is what I don't want you to
and I don't want to go there.
It's your choice. It's your choice. It's not even on the level yet.
I hear it. I don't go by what I hear. I don't go by what I hear. I go by only what I see.
Can you tell me what the you see?
A lot of didn't say it.
It's on the table like, shut the up.
Really?
I know you.
I think it's disrespectful, period, and it's never come out of my mouth to a human being. Tell them, knock you upside your head. Everybody stay in their lane.
Excuses. What would you give yourself? Like, what do you mean? Aside from excuses.
You plan on building up 47 acres?
Why would you go to Melody?
Ass ain't never built a house. Bye.
Oh, I built houses, Martell Hope.
In the red dress, I had to go snatch you up. We just haven't been as connected. I feel like you honestly ignore it.
He knows I can appreciate another woman.
So you would have a threesome?
If you called Maurice, he'd give you a name.
I shot my video the other day.
Hey, go ahead.
That's rude as hell.
You mentioned that you shot a video about a song about your ex-husband. They got 4 kids together.
And my song is just about you.
You and my kids walking in the house singing it
We got it.
2 years ago. Shut up. Let's just take a break. You playing out the
I think it's time we start doing a very thorough deep dive on the demise of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And you guys should watch my first install of this segment. I'm going to go ahead and create a playlist for it. And the very first video is this the end of Love and Marriage Huntsville? We need to do an entire deep dive on Love and Marriage Huntsville, starting with Martell and Mel's marriage and the demise of it. And we're going to slowly deep dive everyone's relationship like I started out doing, but we're going to deep dive into it and relay it to how it all played into the demise of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Not saying that I want it to be a demise, but we need to also deep dive the most viewed season to the least viewed season, or the most viewed season, season 3, to this season, season 8. Because in my opinion, it's night and day, but some people may have forgotten. I want y'all to get in the comment section and let me know what you think. In my opinion, season 3 was the most watched, most viewed season because Martell and Melody had a lot going on within their marriage. They have always displayed a lot of transparency. Not necessarily Martell, but when they were married, season 1 and season 2, Melody and Martell displayed a lot of transparency. And season 3, that is when we learned that Martell didn't want to be as transparent with his mistakes. And we actually learned a lot more about him behind the scenes. One of those being that he wasn't actually the breadwinner. He had a baby behind the scenes, and the bitch he had a baby with was absolutely insane. We also learned that there were a lot of secrets inside of Marceau and Letitia's relationship. Letitia was really insecure about women being around him and just insecure as a whole. They also started working on some project that they still haven't completed to this day. And Cancer Hunter and Libido the Mule were talking about Monster vaping in the bathroom and trying to be upset with Tiffany for having that conversation, while in the same breath, Kimmy was having misplaced anger, and the whole cast ganged up on Tiffany to, in my opinion, to deflect from what Marceau and Kimmy actually had going on, which was the fact that he was a very freaky man. And they even were speaking about some of their intimacy moments that I now think is very interesting and play into why he's such a cancer hunting weirdo. And we also were introduced to Tiffany and Lou, who, in my opinion, were a very big deal because they brought out a lot of information from the cast that we wanted to know. And a lot of you guys did not put enough respect on Tiffany's name, and y'all took her for granted, truth be told, because we needed a character like her that was sophisticated, witty, not scared. She was scared to fight, obviously, but not scared to say what we were all thinking. And now we just got a whole bunch of go along to get along as cast members. Lou was also an important member in this moment because he was one of the men that stood out because he was respectable and he was a different version of black men that we have gotten a chance to see versus the ones that they had already given us, like the Scott brothers and Martell. And this was also the season where Melody and Dusty Dan friendship became nothing. And we got to see how much anger and aggression Destiny housed toward Mel, and it was for no reason. This was also the season where Stormy was pregnant, and we saw how Dusty Dan was being an opportunist, and she wanted to get Stormy at the time to sponsor her event, and she didn't even give Mel the invitation. We also see her ultimately just not giving us any type of transparency regarding her own relationship, and we know just as much about Dusty Dan today that we knew about her in season 3. And as far as Libido the Mule go, the only thing interesting about her is the fact that her husband is a cancer hunter. Like, she still really gave nothing. This was also the season where Martell joked about her being a side chick, and realistically, a lot of people missed it. But the gag is, people missed the fact that her husband never really corrected anyone. The point that I'm trying to make is, from season 3, when you look at everything, we still haven't really gotten any closure from all of those situations. In season 8, we had just recovered from them still talking about Monster just last season. Do you think that they had any closure to that situation? What the problem is, in my opinion, they keep throwing storylines out there and they're not giving us any closure. They're moving on and then they're bringing them back up and trying to tweak them, and it doesn't end up making sense. Like Marceau getting a vasectomy and then them trying to say Letitia is pregnant in season 7. Like, why would you waste our good time like that? We only got an hour. There was never any real closure to Kimmy's cancer story. There was never any real closure to the Monster and Maurice story. There was never any real closure to their therapy journey. There was never any real closure to him being a cancer hunter and expecting his wife to battle through cancer while suffering through having sex with him. There was no accountability for the jokes he said about his wife and or the comments he made. He basically just made the comments and they talked about libido all season long, and we didn't really get any follow-ups about her cancer journey. And then we got to the reunion, he apologized, and they expected us to just be able to move on. And to me, that is not good producing. Because now, this season, you got all these new characters, and let's talk about that. Let's talk about how last season we were introduced to Neil and Chris Fletcher and their entire family and that dynamic, and it was so impactful. They didn't even get that many scenes or that many minutes in the episode, and people spoke about them for weeks and weeks and weeks on at a time. Producers didn't listen to the feedback and bring them in and give them more camera time. They in fact introduced us to another person who is not even close to being as interesting as the Fletchers. And the Fletchers literally have a family dynamic that a lot of us want to understand and can relate to or understand. To me, that's not good producing. Why in the hell would we start the season off being introduced to this odd friendship situationship and Stormy introducing these people and having a lovers and friends gala? Who gives a fuck about that? It should have started off with Mel and Martell in that situation, and then we go on to the Fletchers because that was the next biggest thing and people really, really, really wanted updates on that. But instead, they give us a few minutes of them talking about it and then them trying to plan her birthday. What? Or the very infamous moment when Marceau went to Africa and didn't take his wife, and we didn't get to speak about that or really dissect that for a while. Or the fact that they went to Vegas and he didn't want to renew his vows. What the fuck was that about? How come we didn't really get a chance to follow the story? Or the fact that they got vasectomies and didn't tell their wives. Why wouldn't we follow more of that story and gain more context? And I know what you're thinking. What more is there to gain? And how do you follow that story? I don't have enough time to tell y'all how to do that, but it absolutely could have been done. And in my opinion, the show doesn't have good ratings because they have not been following the stories the way the people have been asking them to. And anytime there's some heat, they just move on and they never finish up where they started. We also haven't gotten any finished projects from most of the cast, and we don't even really know what their businesses entail. All we know is that they are continuing to say that they're starting new projects, and we don't get to see the process or anything about it. We just get to see them wearing helmets and pulling up there and showing us this is what they're doing, like just standing there and not actually showing us this is what they're doing. And worst of all, the very mere fact that Mel's baby mama has displayed a very aggressive behavior and nobody can seemingly check him or bring awareness to it. In fact, they seemingly relate to him and blame Mel for trying to set boundaries and cover herself against him. In fact, the fact that she wasn't crying and sad and walking around moping was the reason why Kimmy claimed she couldn't be of more support to the woman that found out that her husband at the time was having a baby on her. So to me, it's a lot of dishonesty and people are not genuine. I think it's very disingenuous for these people to then act like the fan base is more of a problem than the very man that has tried to put out Revenge P. Even now, you have Neil Fletcher basically stating that she don't want to pick between Mel and Martell. And I think at some point, there needs to be a clear boundary established. Why would you even want to be friends with him if he's doing all that? And this is why I say she's not really a good person, because look how she treats her daughter, but look how much grace she can give a man like Mel's baby mama. That is a huge red flag for me. I can really go on and on and on, but y'all get in the comment section and y'all let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the post notification bell so you guys are up to date each and every time that I upload.
Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. 'Cause the love you give, you can't
In the case of anybody.
That's why I spend my life